All right, Diego and I are going to share with you what we see coming up for Week 11 slate of games. We've already gone through what we think will happen up in Seattle, the 49ers. You can catch them on the back of our last post. Yeah. So, Diego, go ahead and get us kicked off.
Well, there's about 13 games this week. We agree on about half of them. We disagree on about half. So let's get to the agreements first. We're going to start Thursday Night Football, which has been turned into ugly uniform kind of night. Tennessee is traveling over to Jacksonville, which apparently has gotten better since the last time I was in the States. And Jacksonville is a 3-point favorite.
I think they win this one by 13. That passing attack's ridiculous.
I agree. I like this chemistry they have on offense. I think the defense is serviceable, and I think they're going to pull this off at least by 3. So
score. All right.
That's one. Game number 2 that we agree on is Carolina's 7-point favorite at home against the Redskins.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch out. Cam's coming.
But is he going to dance in the end zone, though?
Yes.
Yes, he is. Of course he's
going to dance. The defense is also going to dance in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, they're at home. Yeah. The Redskins, great performance last week. Let's not get carried over.
Stop. Stop. There's nothing great about beating up on the Saints defense. The Saints defense is in the fucking French Quarter.
You like that?
Getting hammered.
You like that?
They suck.
Okay.
You like that?
Yeah.
You like that?
Anyways, so
all right, next
Carolina.
Okay.
Next pick. Atlanta's a 6-point favorite at home against the Colts, who have no luck.
Yeah, they have no luck and ain't gonna have no win either. Give me Atlanta.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a solid, dose of Frank Gore, and I don't know how much Matt Hasselbeck can continue doing what he was doing last time out.
Nope.
I got the Falcons.
Jared Tolling going to get you so far.
Yep.
Falcons. All right, Falcons. Next up.
We got Jets going to Houston, and they're favored by 2.5.
No. You're not going to have 2 miracle wins in a row. Sorry, Houston. I think Hoyer's inspirational and all that other stuff, and it ain't gonna matter.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not even caught up. I don't know whether Hoyer is gonna be back or if TJ Yates still. Excellent performance on defense against the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. Even if you pull that off against the Jets, that's a really outstanding defense that'll probably even going to score some points. So I'm taking the Jets as well.
Jets. All
right. Kansas City Chiefs going on the road, 3-point favorites in San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. It's too bad your defense is in Tijuana getting hammered on shitty mezcal. Yeah, that team is effing terrible. I would pick the Enox Eagles to beat the San Diego Chargers. That's how bad they are.
That's awesome.
Shoot.
I got Kansas City running back on my fantasy team with a few guys on the buy, so I need this big time. I think Kansas City's defense is going to just make Phillip Rivers, throw some bad passes, and I think Kansas City is going to pull this off and cover by 3.
All right, next up.
Last game we agree on, Monday Night Football. New England Patriots, 7-point favorites against the Buffalo Bills.
There was a time when I wanted nothing more than Tommy Terrific to lose every single game he played.
Because he was a ball deflator?
Yeah.
Okay.
That time has passed. Because it doesn't matter what Tom does with his balls. He could inflate them. He could deflate them. He could come out with them flat. He could play football with a fucking beach ball. It doesn't matter. He's the very best quarterback in the game right now, and they're the very best team in the game right now. And they could play the 85 Bears and absolutely sack slap them.
Plus, Julian Edelman just got injured, which means my boy from Cal, Chris Harper, got activated, and I think he might make a difference. A little punt return, a little something you're not expecting.
Yeah.
And you know what? They just find ways to win. I got them covering too. So
yeah.
Patriots.
All right.
Let's get to some stuff we don't necessarily agree on. Let's start with the Oakland Raiders going up to Detroit to face the Lions, and the Raiders are favored by 2 points.
The Raiders are favored by 2 points. So, I have this thing in the cupboard where I keep my dishes at home, and it's got a bunch of fucking holes in it. And what you do is when you cook pasta, you dump the pasta into it. It's called a colander. And do you want to know what a colander's purpose is? Is to fucking leak. You want to know what the Raiders' defense purpose is? To fucking leak. This team is terrible. Terrible. They should be nicknamed the Oakland Revolving Doors because that freaking... Adrian Peterson rushed for 50 miles. Dude, oh my God. I think D'Angelo Williams is still running against them. And that game is over 2 weeks ago. No, 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 no. The Raiders aren't going to go on the road and win. No, 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 no. Okay. Next.
So your boy Amir Abdullah is the one who's going to run for the 100 yards? Or is it Joique Bell?
Do you know what? You could run for 100 yards. It doesn't matter. They could go get a freaking crack baby off the street, throw some pads on him like in freaking South Park, and they could have that kid run for 200 yards.
I'm still jet lagging. I can't run for 100 yards, period. But anyways, you know what? We disagree on our take on the Oakland Raiders. I think they're still a very solid team that might be able to fight for a playoff spot this year. I think on offense, they're still a pretty scary team that can put up points. Detroit, great. You got your second win last week. You beat a reeling Green Bay Packers team. I'm not buying it. I'm taking the points. I'm taking the Raiders.
Okay, well, I think the only thing the Raiders are fighting for is a spot on the couch to watch the playoffs. Well, but all right, next up.
As of this recording, it appears that the Cowboys game at the Dolphins is a pick'em. So it's basically, who do you think is going to win?
Who do I think is going to win? I think Miami has the better defense. I think Miami has an actual quarterback. I think Miami has actual receivers. I think Rashard Matthews is going to find whoever it is the Cowboys can trot out at corner and absolutely light him up. You want to talk about the real deal? Here's the real deal, kids. That guy is no joke. Matthews is on it. I think that Miami is going to punch these guys right in the face.
I've come a long way and grown up from the times when I used to make fun of Tony Romo, who, by the way, is still not ever going to win the Super Bowl. But he is definitely a very good NFL quarterback, and it's going to be his first game back, so it's not like I'm expecting Tom Brady levels out of him. But I think it's going to make a significant difference. We know with Des Bryant also back in the lineup now for a couple of weeks, I think the defense might be able to do enough to kind of keep them in the game, and I think the Cowboys are going to pull this off. I think they get the win. They get back on the win column a little bit too late, but I think they get back on the winning column.
I think that the only thing the Cowboy defense is going to do is find a way for Greg Hardy to be called a spectacular human being.
I'm not even going to go into Greg Hardy.
Open hand slaps a cheerleader on the field.
Let's go into the next game we disagree on.
Fire away.
That is the Baltimore Ravens at home against the Rams. Baltimore is favored by 2 points.
And who is the Rams starting quarterback for this game? Survey says...
I believe his name is Case
Keenum. Todd Gurley's awesome. He really is. Yes. The Ram front seven is awesome. Guess what? No. Unless Todd Gurley throws the ball, runs down the field, and catches the ball, I don't see any way for the Rams to actually win this football game. You don't win with Gurley left, Gurley right, Gurley middle punt. That doesn't work. No. Rams are going to lose.
Obviously, I'm totally crazy because I'm going to go here and pick the Rams, who never give you any reason to actually pick them or be confident about them. But I think new quarterback against a really weak pass defense and the things that you mentioned, a good running game and a good front seven that may be able to get Flacco in trouble. I just think that the Rams are going to be able to pull this off because they're completely unpredictable. So in a game where they should lose, they're probably going to go on and win. It's not necessarily going to mean much in the end, but I got the Rams.
All right, next up,
probably the game of the week, even though Kerry doesn't want to hear it, it's Minnesota Vikings hosting the Green Bay Packers. It's a really big game for divisional purposes and playoff purposes. So who you got?
All Day had himself a hell of a game against the Oakland Raiders. But that's not saying much when D'Angelo Williams, who is a card-carrying member at AARP, had a lights-out game against him the week before. Aaron Rodgers is a very, very good quarterback, maybe the best quarterback in the NFC. I'm not sure if Minnesota has what it takes to stop these guys. I know that they're probably pretty pissed off after absolutely crapping the bed against the Detroit Lions, for the first time in 30 years? Was it 30?
About 25, I think.
25? It was freaking ridiculous. Yeah. In any case, look, Green Bay's pissed. They're going to come out angry, and I think that they're going to do a hell of a job against Minnesota. I think Green Bay is going to win.
What Green Bay's doing is Green Bay's reeling right now. They just don't know which way's up. They took one of the best running backs in the NFL last season and benched him for good reason. but they don't necessarily have a good running game right now to support Aaron Rodgers, who is struggling with, a band of wide receivers that was performing really well early this season, and now it just isn't. Facing a really good up-and-coming Minnesota team who should have one more win because they just had no idea what they were doing against us in Week 1. And I like them at home. I like KP, who's on pace to go over 2,000 yards. I like what Teddy Bridgewater's doing, basically managing the game and getting the chains moving. And a defense that's playing really well right now. It's feeling pretty good about itself. Can rush the passer a little bit, can cover receivers a little bit. So I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings getting a statement win.
All right.
Let's see. We go into another game we disagree on. It's Philadelphia Eagles going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Eagles are favored by 5.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that the Eagles are going to win this one. I don't like picking the Eagles to win because I don't like Chip Kelly. I root against him in all things because nobody should do to football what you've done to it, Chip. No one. Time of possession matters, and every single coach in the history of forever, except you, agrees. Time of possession matters. That stated, Captain Chuck and Duck Project. You're going to trot out your merry band of frickin' Chuck and Duckers against a team that, while talented, doesn't really have any actual direction. And that means, unfortunately, you're going to come away with the win. It's going to turn my stomach, but you're going to come away with the win.
Yeah, and I'm rolling the dice here. I think the Eagles are going to win this game also, but I think there's something about Mark Sanchez getting the start that makes me feel like they're just not going to be able to pull away in this game. And so I think they win. I just don't think they cover the 5-point spread. So I'm just going to put a little money on the Bucs. Roll the dice, get a little bit crazy.
Sanchez will cover. He'll also butt fumble, but he will cover. Butt fumble and the cover. You heard it here first.
Interesting game. Chicago Bears at home favored by 1 against the Denver Broncos, who are coming in with Brock Osweiler. What do you got?
I think that the Denver defense is still the best defense in football, whether or not the grand old man of the NFL, Peyton Manning, has plantar fasciitis or not, whether or not they can run the football or not. The Denver defense could score 10 points by itself. They really they could account. They could account for 10 points.
What quarterback are they facing?
Oh, the Denver defense?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. They're not facing Captain Turnover, are they? Are they facing
the Jay Cutler? Jay Cutler never turns the ball over.
No, never. Hey, wait a minute. Is that the same Jay Cutler that threw a fucking interception to a 49er nose tackle? Oh my God, it is! Ta-da!
Yes.
Jay Cutler, when it absolutely, positively has to be run into the other fucking end zone. Jay Cutler is your quarterback.
We'll do it. Bro,
right.
I think they come in with a game plan. I think John Fox, though, will be ready for this defense and this offense overall, so that's going to be interesting. But I think Osweiler is going to come in with a solid game plan that will allow him to manage the game and put Denver in a position to win it. I definitely think Denver is going to get points out of Cutler. I mean, in their defense, so I'm definitely picking Denver to win this game. And last but not least, Arizona is, I believe, Sunday Night Football, playing against the Cincinnati Bengals at home, and they're also favored by 5 points. So what you got?
The Cincinnati Bengals were the victim of an outlier last week. An outlier by the name of J.J. Watt. Arizona doesn't have J.J. Watt. They don't. And I think that I think they're loaded. I think that Cincinnati's loaded. I think they've got Giovanni Bernard's a stud. A.J. Green's a stud. Eifert's a stud. And Dalton is probably absolutely kicking himself for a crap game, falling asleep against a wildly inferior opponent. I think Cincinnati's going to win. I think Arizona's going to reel. Look, when it gets down to crunch time, do you want what you can always count on? Always, always, always.
Carson Palmer making a mistake.
It's going to get dark at night. When you go in water, you'll get wet. And when you have to win a football game, Carson Palmer will find a way to fuck it up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because 5 years ago I talked to you about Bengals and Cardinals and Sunday Night Football, and you're like, "Okay, who made the schedule? Who's killing me?" I am actually looking forward to this game. It's a pretty good matchup. I think everything that you say it's right, but I think something about Arizona coming off of this win up in Seattle, I think it means something. I think it establishes them as one of the teams to beat in the NFC, and I think that it just this is an important week for them. So I think, by the way, Chris Johnson, second leading rusher in the NFL. I bet you didn't know that.
I did.
Yeah, they're a really balanced offense. They're still pretty good defense. I think Patrick Peterson may be able to slow down AJ Green a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm rolling with the Cards and the 5 points.
Okay, I'm rolling with Carlos Dunlap, high five, and Carson Palmer 5 or 6 times today.
But anyways, that's all the picks.
All right, that is it for our pick segment this week. I'm AJ Bellino.
I'm Diego Del Barco.
This has been a Pond Father Review. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.